Welcome back to Myth and Magic, the podcast where we grab our cozy socks and it's cold, so I hope you have, and favorite drinks and deep dive into the fascinating world of folklore and legend. Today, we're pulling back the veil on a figure who embodies both beauty and terror, a complex and ancient being from Alpine folklore, Frau Perchta. Now, before we dive into the depths of her story, let's tackle that name, Perchta, or Perchta. Sometimes you will see a difference in spelling when we're talking about this figure. You'll sometimes see it spelled Berchta or Percht. But it's still all referring to the same enigmatic figure. Where does Frau Perchta come from? Her etymology is fascinating. The name Perchta, it's like a pear, A-I-R, Perchta, at least in my pronunciation guide, that's what it says. But it's believed to derive from Old High German, the word being Perot, meaning bright or shining. This hints at her more benevolent aspects, perhaps connecting her to deities of light or even the winter sun. However, as we'll soon discover, bright doesn't always equate to gentle. Her historical origins are deeply rooted in pre-Christian Germanic and Alpine paganism. She is often considered a counterpart to Hulda or Hol, another powerful Germanic goddess associated with the winter months, spinning, and the wild hunt. Perchta's traditions predate Christianity, evolving from ancient beliefs about spirits of the wilderness, fertility, and the cycles of nature. When Christianity arrived, figures like Perchta, rather than being entirely eradicated, were often demonized or reinterpreted, their stories merging with new religious narratives. Some scholars suggest that Perchta, Hulda, and similar figures might all stem from a much older, widespread Proto-Indo-European goddess archetype overseeing birth, death, and the harvest. There isn't a specific birth story for Frau Perchta in the way we might think of a human birth. Instead, she seems to emerge from the very fabric of the land and the ancient beliefs of the people. She is an elemental force, a manifestation of the untamed winter and the consequences of human actions. Some alternative lore portrays her as an ancient spirit born from the primordial mist and the chill of the Alps, existing long before human memory. Now, let's talk about her appearance, which is perhaps one of her more striking and variable aspects. Perchta is often depicted with a duality reflecting her benevolent and malevolent side. On one hand, she can appear as a beautiful, radiant maiden dressed in flowing white, sometimes with a crown of stars or flowers. This is the Perchta who rewards diligence and kindness. On the other hand, and more famously, she can manifest as a terrifying hag with an iron nose, tangled hair, and often the feet of a goose or a swan. Her clothes might be ragged, and she might carry a staff or a spindle. This is the punitive Perchta, the one who punishes idleness and those who violate taboos. Her duality is central to her character. Another lesser-known depiction describes her with a beak-like nose, which further emphasizes her non-human ancient origins. Her primary purpose is to oversee the winter months, particularly the 12 nights between Christmas and Epiphany, known as the Ronachta or rough nights. During this time, the veil between worlds is thin, and Perchta roams, observing human behavior. She is a guardian of domestic order, agricultural prosperity, and moral conduct. She rewards the industrious and punishes the lazy, especially those who fail to properly observe the traditions of the season, like spinning all their flax before the Ranacht begin. In some regions, her purpose extended beyond domestic matters to include guiding the souls of the dead to the afterlife, particularly those who died during the Ranacht, which I hope I'm pronouncing correctly. Her personality is complex. She can be benevolent and generous, bringing good fortune and blessings to those who are hardworking and respectful of tradition. However, she is also stern, unyielding, and incredibly severe in her punishments. There's no negotiation with Perchta once she decides you've crossed a line. She embodies the harsh realities of winter and the need for discipline and order. Some stories portray her as having a mischievous side, occasionally playing tricks on humans before revealing her true intent, adding another layer to her multifaceted personality. Frau Perchta's powers and attributes are formidable. She has dominion over the elements, particularly snow and ice. She's an Elsa. She can bestow fertility upon the land and livestock, but also bring famine and blight. Her most famous attribute is her connection to spinning and weaving. She judges those who are diligent with their work. She is also said to lead the wild hunt, a spectral procession of spirits and creatures that roams the winter skies, often accompanied by the souls of the unbaptized or those who died violently. This connects her to other figures like Odin and Holda, reinforcing her ancient, powerful status. An additional power attributed to Perchta is the ability to transform, shifting her appearance at will, which further explains her varied descriptions. She is also said to have prophetic abilities, sometimes offering cryptic warnings to those who encounter her. Her symbols and depictions often include the spindle, representing her connection to textile work and the fates. The goose or swan foot is another prominent symbol, hinting at her chthonic connections and perhaps an ancient connection to water or migratory birds. She is sometimes depicted with a key, symbolizing her role as a keeper of secrets or the gatekeeper between worlds. In some regions, a specific porridge or gruel is left out for her, serving as a symbolic offering. Beyond these, an alternative symbol is the number 12, representing the 12 Ranacht she presides over, reinforcing her temporal power during this crucial period. In terms of worship and cults, there isn't evidence of organized temple-based worship of Perchta in the same way as classical deities. Instead, her veneration was more localized and folk-based, intertwined with seasonal rituals and superstitions. Families would observe specific customs during Ranacht to appease her and ensure her favor, such as cleaning their homes thoroughly and consuming specific foods like fish and gruel. These practices were more about warding off her wrath and inviting her blessings than formal worship. Some historical records suggest that small, secretive cults might have existed in remote Alpine villages, practicing ancient rites to honor her benevolent aspects, often focused on ensuring good harvest and protecting livestock. Modern worship of Perchta, if it can be called that, is primarily seen within contemporary pagan and neo-pagan traditions, particularly those focused on Germanic or Alpine heathenry. Practitioners might honor her during the winter solstice or the Ranacht, recognizing her as an ancestral figure, a powerful archetype of the wild feminine, and a representative of the cycles of death and rebirth inherent in winter. This often involves personal rituals, offerings, and reflections on themes of discipline, consequence, and connection to the natural world. For some modern practitioners, Perchta represents the untamed spirit of the winter wilderness, and rituals might involve solitary walks in snowy forests or meditating on the harsh beauty of the season as a way to connect with her essence. Perchta has found her way into art through the centuries, from medieval woodcuts depicting her as a monstrous figure to modern illustrations in folklore collections. She's often shown with her dual appearance, emphasizing her beauty and her grotesque side. More recently, artists have reinterpreted her, sometimes focusing on her powerful, untamed nature rather than purely her punitive aspects. In historical prints, look for anonymous woodcuts from the 16th to the 19th centuries, often depicting her as a part of the wild hunt or punishing idol spinners. Many can be found in academic collections of folklore imagery. Artists like Ernst Ludwig Uhre in the 20th century created compelling illustrations of Perchta for books on Alpine folklore. Contemporary artists on platforms like DeviantArt and ArtStation also offer diverse interpretations. Perchtenloff masks. These intricate, often terrifying wooden masks used in traditional Alpine parades are true folk art, capturing the monstrous side of Perchta and her accompanying figures. In pop culture, Perchta hasn't achieved the widespread recognition of, say, the Krampus, but she is starting to gain more traction. As interest in lesser-known European folklore grows, Perchta is likely to appear in more media, offering a unique blend of beauty, horror, and ancient wisdom. Here are some specifics you can check out, though admittedly, Perchta's presence is the 2015 film Krampus, while the main focus is on its named title, there are subtle allusions to other Alpine figures, and the overall atmosphere of the Ranacht is present where Perchta also holds sway. The Witcher universe, though not directly named, the concept of ancient, powerful, hag-like figures deeply connected to nature and old traditions seen in some of the lore could be seen as drawing inspiration from beings like Perchta. Frau Perchta's Spindle by Anne Bishop is a short story found in her Pillars of the World collection. It offers a contemporary fantasy take on the figure, exploring her role and traditions. Various indie horror games and RPGs also include Perchta in various ways. You can search for independent horror video games or tabletop role-playing modules that delve into European folklore. Perchta sometimes appears as a formidable entity or a creature born from deep winter legends. And finally, let's talk about some of the stories associated with Frau Perchta. Her most famous tales revolve around the Ranacht. It's said that during these 12 nights, she roams from house to house, inspecting the state of some people's homes and their spinning work. If the spinning is unfinished, she might punish the lazy spinner by tearing open their belly and stuffing it with stones or straw, or by replacing their guts with garbage. Thanks, Mom. Perchta seems like Mom on the level of extreme. Conversely, if the spinning is complete and the house is tidy, she might leave a silver coin in a shoe or a gift of good fortune. She also has a particular dislike for those who eat certain forbidden foods during this period, like specific kinds of offal. Children who are disobedient or fail to honor their elders might also face her wrath. These stories, while frightening, served a clear purpose: to enforce social norms, encourage industriousness, and maintain traditional practices during a difficult time of the year. One fascinating, lesser-known story involves Perchta rewarding a poor but kind servant girl with an endless supply of flax after the girl diligently finished her spinning work, highlighting her benevolent side. Another grim tale describes how she would sometimes swap out well-behaved children for changelings if the parents were not sufficiently vigilant during the Ranacht, adding to the fear surrounding her visits. Perchta's stories are not just about fear, though. They're also about balance. She reminds us that actions have consequences, that diligence is rewarded, and that the wilderness of nature, while beautiful, can be unforgiving. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed learning about Perchta. I think she's certainly cool. She honestly does remind me of a mom who is just trying to keep her kids doing their chores and stuff during, you know, hard times. And moms can either be, you know, very strict and you will suffer consequences that you will not like if you don't do what you're supposed to. I don't know what that was. So don't know what that was either. Okay. But also on the other side, the benevolence of a mother who is proud and happy to have their child doing the best that they can. Perchta might not take into consideration that not finishing your spinning means that you still did the best you could. You just didn't get to finish. That happens. But you know, I hope you're enjoying this. I hope you can, I don't know, just enjoy your season. Enjoy the time you have with the things that are hopefully happily going on in your life. And, yeah, be the light in this world. And hopefully, you will be able to attract all of the wonderfulness that comes from that. And if not, just keep shining on, because sometimes you'll have the winters, like the harsh winters in the Alpine, and Perchta will get ya. That was dumb, sorry. Okay, so from her ancient roots in the Alpine wilderness to her modern interpretations, Perchta remains a powerful and captivating figure, reminding us of the enduring power of folklore and the complex nature of the human spirit. And that's it. I hope you will join us next time on Myth and Magic. We have one more video before the end of the year, and then we're going to be talking about something I'm really excited for. I went on a deep dive. It went crazy. I was going to do a section of this, and then I ended up doing a section of this because it was this, if that makes sense. Ooh, you're my tummy girl. I need to have lunch. So yeah, I already have videos all ready to go for the new year, so we'll be able to stay on track. And yeah, have a wonderful day, and I will see you next time.